What's up, good people? Happy holidays. Happy holidays. It's your man, L.A. Cheatham. Watch the game sports.
Benjamin Banneker, what's going on? What's going on? Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all getting ready to get settled in. Hope y'all getting ready to settle in and eat real good. And then we got a lot of football this weekend. A lot of football.
A lot of football, college basketball off the chain tonight. The Maui Classic is jumping off. The championship game is probably winding down as we speak. Purdue, the last I checked, were on top of Marquette. They should be at the closing moments of that game. But we are here to talk about week 12 in the NFL, starting with Bears and Vikings, and gonna look at some more key matchups this weekend in the NFL. Going into like Thanksgiving, of course, opening up with that Green Bay Packers, going to Motown to Detroit, and all the way down to the what is the Black Friday game, which I think is going to be a blur, and a boring game
The
due to the
Dolphins
fact
and Jets,
the
right? Yeah.
Dolphins and the Jets. The Jets have not been they've been a sleeper for the Jets all season long. Defense is lights out, but they can't score to save their life. Um, so as far as I'm concerned, my opening statements going into week 12, as far as the Chicago Bears are concerned, Matt Eberflus, there is absolutely nothing he can do to save his job. Nothing.
He
As
lost
far as
it.
I'm concerned, he is fired.
Yeah.
But what do I expect from the Chicago Bears this week? What I would like to see is the defense come out and play the exact same game, but I need them to play 60 minutes this time. And I just want to see Justin continue to prove he is the man in Chicago.
Yeah, I can't. Eberflus been fired for me since the Denver Broncos game. That's number one. So, I just don't think the Bears organization just got the balls to fire somebody mid-season. So he's coaching his last games. Defense. I said this from the beginning of the season. Just be serviceable. Be middle of the pack. Be middle of the pack. I can live with that. I think the last 3 or 4 games they've been trending up, especially last game with all they had 3 defensive takeaways and 1 special teams takeaway. You put that together with 60 minutes, that's all I'm looking for. And then I can let the chips fall where they may at that point, because we all know a lot of games we probably could have walked away getting a W last year if the defense would have been serviceable, because the offense was putting up like, not even the offense. Justin was putting up like 30 last year. So, and then just to round it out with Justin, like I said, Justin is 1-0, and I feel like this fan base is divided based on a lot of narratives that we talked about in the last show. But Justin is 1-0. Justin did not lose that game last week, and we just want to see Justin play clean again, stack another good game together. I can separate the final score from Justin's play to evaluate who I want this quarterback to be next year. But I'm already sold on it being Justin, because I just think bringing in a new quarterback and starting this clock all over again is a waste of our time as the fans. And you haven't shown the ability, with the Bears organization, you haven't shown the ability in the past to get this thing right. So,
Yeah. On the defensive end, I'm sold on Justin, of course. I wonder about the health and availability of Deontay Foreman. I'm not sure. I haven't got an injury update. I've been kind of late on picking up on. It's gotten to the point where I don't even like to hear Matt Eberflus's press conference.
yeah,
As
yeah.
valuable as they are when you talk about injury reports and stuff like that, and with today being the day, that this is one of the days. This is his one of his main preparation days for the game before. This is the Wednesday is typically the day that you hear from Matt Eberflus before the actual game, I believe, because I don't know if he has a Friday press conference or not,
I don't
but I
think
know
so.
normally,
He do
yeah.
after the game Monday, and I think he
Hmm.
give us one midweek where he usually updates us on the injury report and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
injury
Yep.
reports. Yeah, And then I think on Thursday is typically the day that you hear from the coordinators and stuff like that. But I cannot stand to listen to him in his press conferences. And that's not so much that. See, my thing with Matt Eberflus, you don't get to be a horrible coach and have bad press conferences.
Yeah,
Because this is the thing. We don't like to hear Bill Belichick do press conferences either. They're not entertaining at all. They're really dry as well. But when he's winning, what in the hell more does he need to say? Which is a different case for him now. I'm just saying when he was winning, and, winning Super Bowls and had the Patriots on the top of the NFL. We knew he wasn't going to say much, but we dealt with it and we kind of laughed at it. And he was winning. And he could do what the hell he wanted to do and say little. You know what I'm saying? But Matt Eberflus, you do not get to lose games and bore me to death at the podium when you do a press conference. So unfortunately, I didn't listen to him today, so I didn't get an injury report. So I'm just hoping that Deontay Foreman is healthy enough to play against Minnesota. Um, the running backs have proven every running back that we've had so far this season has been banged up to a degree, regardless if it's the ankle injury or calf injury. When you talk about Khalil Herbert, or if you're talking about concussion protocol, when you talk about Roshan Johnson, and now I'm not sure about the health of Deontay Foreman, but that's the strength of the offense. It's the running back room. So it's going to be interesting to see if Deontay Foreman plays, but want to see Justin continue to establish himself as the quarterback in Chicago. But I really need to see that defense continue to play well and finish strong, and hopefully will not put the offense in a position, given that they take advantage of field position and opportunity to make big plays, that they can close the game out in the victory formation and get their first NFC North victory for Matt Eberflus, who's already fired.
do you got high faith in that? Do you got faith in them going up to Minnesota and Minnesota's been rolling. They stumbled last week versus the Broncos. Josh Dobbs has kind of been his story has kind of been taking over the NFL. Uh, do you have faith in this team who is 0-12 in their last NFC National Football Conference North Division games? 0-12 and 0-9 under Eberflus. Do you got faith in it? That's what I want to know. I'm trying to pull up the injury report for you right now while you answering that question.
I have faith in the defense that's playing well. We can say what we want. Matt Eberflus isn't playing, and I just believe that the defense is playing well, and I think they have to be inspired to be able to go out and do the same and finish strong. So I'm hanging my hat on the defense. I'm hanging on my hat on the fact that Justin Fields is going to play particularly well because the defense has to be inspired, to come out and get a win this week and get the taste out of their mouth from the game against Detroit. And as I stated before, Justin has played pretty well in prime time. So hopefully that continues to happen, and the Bears can get a win in Minnesota. Joshua Dobbs presenting a totally different challenge from the one of Kirk Cousins, being that he's a little bit more of a mobile quarterback. But I believe that he'll make a few mistakes, and I believe that the Bears offense will take advantage of it this time because if they can ever be so lucky to get at least a couple turnovers, I don't expect to see them go out and get four
Four.
turnovers
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
If so, that would be great. But one or two, And if you get that opportunity, the challenge of the offense is to capitalize to the best of their ability to get touchdowns instead of field goals and finish the game in Minnesota. I mean, that's just in a nutshell. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. I really don't. I really, really don't. Um, Unless you want to elaborate on that,
You know
hey,
what's crazy? I just thought about this as I'm trying to pull up, but and I don't know if he updated us on the injury report today because I can't find it. I might be just overlooking it. But what's gonna be crazy is if Foreman can go, and we know Khalil Herbert is kind of working his way back. I didn't think Khalil looked like the best back in our backfield last week, but again, that was his first game back. We might see a lot more of them quarterback runs that you hate. I know Justin had 18 carries last week. Some of them were scrambles, but yeah, you might be looking at a number equal to 18 if Foreman is not there.
I will be pissed if I see another. If I see Justin carry the ball 18 times again, I can't really tell you how I'm going to react to it. If it's effective or not, I can't help but to accept the fact if it's working. But man, look, we have to. The game in Washington showed us what we needed to see. We see him play the position of quarterback, and I do not want him taking the hits. That's my reason for not wanting to see Justin carry the rock that much. Now, Khalil Herbert, given that this is going to be his second week back, another week of practice. Hopefully, if he gets more opportunities, he can capitalize because before he got injured, he was doing okay. Okay, and hopefully Deontay Foreman is healthy enough to go. But based on the last week's game against Detroit, I'm going to say I don't expect to see much from him this week. But Roshan Johnson is capable, so hopefully the running backs can get it going. DJ Moore, of course, can continue to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFC. And hopefully Tyler Scott, Cole Kmet, and Darnell Mooney can make plays and they finish in Minnesota. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
You got a score prediction or you gonna save it?
Well, you since we're going okay, I'm gonna say Justin throws for 2 touchdowns this week. Who to who? I'm gonna give DJ Moore at least one of them touchdowns. That
Okay.
second touchdown is gonna be a wild card. I'm predicting that you might get 2 rushing touchdowns from the running backs uh, against
So
the Vikings.
so they got us at 28.
Yeah, Cairo got to put his foot on a few. He got to put his foot, he got to put his foot on a, got to put his foot in the race every now and then. So I'm seeing the Bears scoring at least 31 points, pretty much. And
I got us for 20.
the defense can only add to that
Yeah.
because I just believe that um Brian Flores is going to bring the house from time to time. And I do believe that the Bears are going to be able to take advantage of that a couple times. That's going to lead to big plays because I don't expect anything different from week 6 when Brian Flores decided to bring the house. And due to the fact it was so effective, I believe he's going to do more of the same in Minnesota, especially in Minnesota. But I believe this time that Justin and the Bears capitalize and make 2 big plays and make them pay for it. And by the way, defense comes out, hopefully play much better. And who knows what we're gonna get our special teams. But I just think the Bears defense has to be inspired to play and finish well this week. Let's sign out to my man John Taylor Jackson.
Yo, yo,
Bear
yo.
down, bear down, John Taylor. John Taylor is got the unfortunate luck of being in Indianapolis. So I don't know if he gets the chance. He's a big Bear fan. I don't know if John Taylor gets the chance to see the Bears as much. But John Tell, he get around quite a bit. I'm pretty sure he got a sports bar or something down there in Indy that he kicking it in. Hey, John Tell, what's up, man? Bear down, man. But that's my take on that, man. And um, I want to get off into the big game, but before I get off into the big game, to keep it, let's stay into bare business for a while. And I just want to ask you. We touched on it a little bit the last time we talked. Okay, you do not want Jim Harbaugh.
No.
I think you explained why. You say he's a character, and I think you think he'll be something to deal with in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Okay, um, I wouldn't mind having Jim Harbaugh in Chicago. So I think that's pretty good that you got a different opinion and I got a different opinion. I think it's very entertaining for those that tune in. For those that tune in to know that we don't agree on everything, but I for one, I would like to see Jim Harbaugh in Chicago. So, given that you don't want Jim Harbaugh,
No.
have you given it any thought as to who you would like to coach our Chicago Bears
I,
in
I
2024?
I don't. It's. I think it's too early for me to have thoughts of like names because
Mm-hmm.
we ain't got to the NFL Black Friday or Black Monday. When
Mm-hmm.
we see who's been released and which staffs is been relieved of duties and who's potentially available. Um, I understand the reason for wanting Jim Harbaugh again. He played here for several years. He was right on the edge of the 85 Bears. So it was still, glory, Chicago Bears, monsters of the Midway days, old Soldier Field. He Tom Waddle, he's connected to all of that. But just observing him at Michigan for 9 years, I get that he was at it was a San Diego State, turned that around. Stanford. He turned
Stanford,
that
yeah.
he turned that around. But if you really look at his record at Stanford, I think he was there 4 years. He really had the one good year with luck, where I think they won 10 games, but everything else was like 8-4, 7 and
Mm-hmm.
5. Then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, when he was with the 49ers, he had the 3 NFC championship appearances, the one Super Bowl appearance where he lost to his brother. Okay, cool. Fell out of favor with management. Then he comes to Michigan. He kind of does the same thing. He goes 0-5 versus Ohio State. He falls out with the athletic director, Ward Manuel. Matter of fact, when he got his new contract, that was negotiated between Jim Harbaugh and the president of the university. The president of the university normally does not deal in those type of dealings with, the football coach. That's what your athletic director does. So he totally alienated him. I have to wonder if he comes to the Bears, how much control he's going to want. Now, we know Ryan Poles is the GM. We know that. How much is he going to give Ryan Poles pushback? I don't want a head coach that wants to come in and be Bill Belichick and want to have player personnel. I don't want that. Then we know he's good for burning bridges. He did a lot of that in San Francisco. Then you just talked about Eberflus's press conference. I never know what the hell Jim Harbaugh is talking about in his press conference, ever. Now, he'll give you some good sound bites, like he just called Michigan America's team, and he was trolling, and that was funny. But when you just sit there and just ask him a question and the responses he gives, it's like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? So to have that going on in Chicago, then you have to ask the question on the NFL level. I know players respect players. I mean, respect coaches that have played the game, but is he a player's coach? I think he's a college football player's coach because they see him as somebody he played in the league. He can help me get to the next level. You know, I'm only 19 years old. I can listen to this guy. But then when you got 26, 27-year-old men, we got families, we got millions of dollars that we, managing. And you coming in and I ask you a direct question and you say something that don't make no kind of sense to me. Like, how am I supposed to follow that? So I really think as sexy as Jim Harbaugh as it would be, he went to his alma mater and he turned that thing around. Then he comes to the Bears and turned that around. You got to look a little bit deeper than that. You got to look a little bit deeper than that. That's not the guy you want. We need a type of coach like what the Vikings got with Kevin O'Connell, who also beat Jim Harbaugh out for the Minnesota Vikings job. Okay, that's what
I
type of coach I want.
Okay, so you don't necessarily want a coach with head coaching experience. You don't. That's not a requirement for you.
I think in today's NFL, we have seen many instances of coaches with nine head coaching experiences be successful. We've seen Sean McVay. You can say, well, not Salah to an extent. Salah has the pieces in place, but not him. I'm trying to think. Kevin O'Connell. Um, what's the guy? Is it Stefanski in at Cleveland? Like he's got that thing turned around. Now he was Stefanski a home run? No, but I just think it's guys out there that you can get that will be less of a headache, less of a payroll hit, more invested in building this thing long term in the brand of the Chicago Bears versus the brand of Jim Harbaugh.
Shout out to Will Bates. Will's on top of the game already. 20 minutes in.
What up,
Will's
Will?
Will Bates, the Will the Thrill. Shout out to him. This is my thing. After I listen to everything that you have said, Jim Harbaugh has had more success in the NFL. You just said it. How many NFC Championship
Three.
games?
3 out of 4
And a
years.
s- and a Super Bowl, and he lost that Super Bowl to Big Bro.
Yeah.
Um, Winning cures all. Now we sitting up here talking about Matt Eberflus after 2 seasons, and we want to get rid of him. Not even complete 2 seasons yet. If Jim Harbaugh can come to Chicago and do what he did in San Francisco, I don't give a damn about his press conferences. I don't give a damn about how he fall out with upper management because it will be attached to winning. So, with that being said, his tenure in Chicago might not be long. It might be short if we are able to get him in Chicago. I give him that. He may not be. I mean, he's in his mid 50s,
I
so
think he's
who
like
knows how long?
56 years old or something
Yeah.
like that.
So, and if he wins early, and by God, he goes and win a Super Bowl in Chicago after winning the national championship in Ann Arbor, Jim Harbaugh comes to Chicago, wins a Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to coach long anyway. So I'm good because if Jim Harbaugh rocks the boat in 2 seasons, he'll be fired just like anyone else. But if he's going to give me 3 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl appearance, and maybe even a Super Bowl win, I'll take it. Jim Harbaugh has been much more successful in the NFL. And he's in his mid 50s. He's got
59.
he's got okay, even more.
Yeah.
So he's got you're talking about the 26-year-old athlete. It's when you're 60 years old, it's no different from the 19-year-old athlete. You're just respecting men. You're just respecting men. And I believe that this will be Jim Harbaugh's second opportunity in the NFL, given his unfortunate his tenure in Michigan and his relationships that was in the bridges that were broken in San Francisco. I would have to think that he would be a better coach from all those experiences, given his age and his experience. So bring on Jim because
So
Matt Eberflus is done.
you let me ask you this. So if it comes down to Jim Harbaugh and somebody like Kellen Moore, you want Harbaugh.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Especially if we keep adjusting.
Okay. Okay.
Especially if we keeping Justin.
Let
Because
me let,
right now, I'm keeping Justin. And if I'm keeping Justin, I'm hoping that Harbaugh's on board with that. But I'm gonna make a really profound statement.
Oh, go for
If Harbaugh ain't in on Justin, the hell with Jim Harbaugh.
it. Okay. All right. At least we agree there. We agree there. We agree there.
All right, because right now I'm at a breaking point with Justin. I'm contemplating that if Justin is not a Bear, where's my fandom gonna go? Am I gonna just be an NFL fan in general, as if like I am with the NBA,
Yeah.
and I'm backing out on that because I don't like the style of play? Can I just enjoy NFL football and still come on watch the game and have some great conversations?
Yeah.
Or am I going to follow Justin much more? Because you know I'm not going to buy jerseys.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done on buying the jerseys because last year Justin Fields was probably the hottest guy on the offensive side of the ball with the ball in his hand. So his jersey was a hot commodity. It probably still is. But my point is, I'm not buying a jersey because 365 days from right now, it could be a damn throwback. But right now, I'm at a breaking point with this thing with Justin because if the Bears get rid of Justin Fields, then everybody needs to go, and includes Ryan Poles.
So,
I have
so
changed my stance on Ryan Poles in the last 7 days,
I
and I'm
see.
not moving off of it. If Justin is gone, the only one safe is Kevin Warren, and the rest of them go to hell. And I don't know where I'm going to end up as a fan, but I will be here and watch the game, and I'm going to enjoy the NFL
Okay. So
because we've invested, and we're going to watch the damn game.
it's kind of like what we discovered about the Bulls. We wasn't Bulls fans. We was Michael Jordan fans. So we ain't you basically saying I might not be a Bears fan. I might be more of a Justin Fields fan. That's what you're telling me right now.
I don't know. I have to wait and see how this thing falls out. I have to wait and see how the thing unfolds because just like I thought I can root on Michael with the Washington Wizards
Oh, I did.
on that night when the ball actually tipped off in Madison Square Garden, game number one for Michael Jordan as a Washington Wizard. The minute the tip went up, I was like, nah, this ain't it. So I can very well do the same thing with Justin. I'm not sure. But with the Bears organization, I don't, man. I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out because I'm in on Justin. I am in on Justin. And I'm gonna stay in on Justin until he's done in the NFL. And that's just how it is to it. But if I'm firing Matt Eberflus, to make a long story short, I want Jim Harbaugh. Now, if Jim Harbaugh is not in on Justin, the hell with him.
Okay.
Okay. Then we may be able to go get who was it, Kellen Moore?
Kellen
Okay.
Moore. I was gonna throw
Yeah.
another name out here. I
I
just thought
like
of this.
Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore. If that's if that's my second pick.
What about Brian Flores?
Not so much because
You not hot on him? Okay.
well, because I just don't think that Brian Flores would get the long rope in Chicago,
He
given
could be the
his
next
experience.
Levy.
Yeah, but
He got a raw deal
this,
in Miami. Remember,
yeah,
he
he got a raw deal in Miami, but I'm thinking that Chicago ain't gonna be so nice either if he doesn't win right away. I just feel that way about it. Um, I can see him getting the Baker treatment in Chicago. If you're not familiar with the Dusty Baker treatment, Dusty Baker came to Chicago and got the Cubs 2003 on the brink of the World Series.
they brought him to Lou.
And yeah, and they didn't quite get the job done, but at that moment, they were no more the lovable losing Cubs. The expectations of the Chicago Cubs changed from that moment on. Took a number of years before they would actually eventually win a World Series. But every move, every roster move, every move in the managerial space at that point. From the time Dusty Baker. Damn, I'm thinking about the
Rest.
American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. From the time Dusty Baker came to Chicago, he was fresh off a World Series loss with the Giants. And you remember what he said? Why not us? Why not now? And that kicked it off in Chicago, and they're still living up to that expectation to this day. But Brian Flores, I don't think he'll. I think if he's not major success, Chicago's not going to be in on him. They're just not going. Because look at Justin. Justin's done everything. He's been exciting. He's had some moments where, he's made some mistakes and cost an opportunity to win a game or two. But overall, he's been a borderline superstar in the NFL. And look at how they treat him. In 4 weeks, he was done. A week after he had played the best game of the season.
Hmm.
So he get 2 quarters after that, goes down with an injured thumb, and they didn't want to replace him. He's still one of the most exciting players in the NFL. Give him 4 weeks off and come back against against the Detroit Lions and play the way he did. So I'm in on Justin. So big game expectations, big game in Ann Arbor, man. You keeping Harbaugh in Ann Arbor. Unfortunately, he will not be roaming the sidelines for your Michigan Wolverines, and they'll be taking on Ohio State in the big game. So I already know who you got.
Oh yeah.
How do you think this game gonna play out from a rhythm standpoint?
Oh, that's a good question because I think it's a narrative floating around now that Michigan didn't look good last week versus Maryland, and that was pretty much a trap game. I mean, you had the big game versus Penn State at Penn State. Your coach is suspended for 3 games. Then you got the Maryland at Maryland, and then everything is riding on this Ohio State game. So that was pretty much a trap game, and I think Michigan's the more difficult teams they faced this year have been at the latter end of their schedule, whereas Ohio State faced a lot of their harder opponents early in the season. They had to go to Notre Dame. They got Penn State at home. I think they beat Maryland, but that game was relatively close in the first half. So Ohio State played Minnesota last week. They come out and win 37-3. We kind of had a nail biter where we win 31-26, I believe, versus Maryland on the road. So I think that has kind of tainted the fan base, even me a little bit. And then I'm hearing reports about JJ McCarthy is not 100% healthy. He got an ankle, he got a knee. We don't got Harbaugh on the sideline. I'm gonna stick to what I said before the season. I do not think Kyle McCord, the quarterback of Ohio State, is good enough to go into Ann Arbor and win that game. I do think there's way more pressure on Ohio State for this game, being that they lost 2 in a row after having such dominance. They lost 2 in a row. Ryan Day's coaching is coming into question. It's way more pressure on them. But man, I don't know how I think it's going to play out. I really don't know because last year I didn't see that coming. I really did not see.
How they busted out on him?
Yeah, and just how they struggled with the passing game all year, and then it showed up in a major way in the last game. So I have
Okay.
no feel if we're gonna pound them into the ground or we're gonna spread this thing out. I have no feel on how this game is gonna go. I'm just going back to what I said at the beginning of the season. Kyle McCord is not good enough to go into Michigan and beat the Wolverines. He's not.
Okay. Now I think a little different. I think that's good for tonight because you think the pressure is on Ohio State. I, on the other hand, think the pressure is on Michigan. Uh, Jim Harbaugh not being on the sideline is the reason why. And then when you look at the last 2 weeks that they've played without Jim Harbaugh once against Penn State, and then they take on Maryland, right?
Maryland, yeah.
Okay, so they were really, really run dominant in both of those games. You say you don't know if McCarthy's healthy, right? I'm not buying that. I'm thinking McCarthy's gonna do whatever he can to play in this game. Now, I do agree with you about McCord not being uh probably not being in the best position with the experience of going into Ann Arbor, and
Well, not
he's
not
capable.
even not even that. Just look at the level of quarterbacks they've had: C.J. Stroud, Dwayne Haskins, J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones, Terrell Pryor, Troy Smith. Like these guys were in the Heisman running,
Yeah.
and out the gate, they
Yeah.
came in making noise. So that's why I say that. But go ahead.
Well, this is my thing with McCord. I just don't think he. I don't think you have to be a Heisman level quarterback to win this game. I just think you have to be. You have to play mistake free football and get the ball to the playmakers. But the one thing is the wild card is he has no experience, to my knowledge, in this game.
Correct.
I don't know if he took any snaps last year
Nope.
in this game.
Nope.
And going on the road in Ann Arbor, playing in the big house, that adds a lot of pressure on McCord. And Michigan is the one team in the top 10, in the top four in the championship rankings, that has the experienced quarterback, the experience in the running back position. Out of all the four teams, Michigan might have in the skill positions, they have the key guys. McCord, I don't think he's on that level at all. I think the pressure's on McCord to perform, not so much to make huge plays, but just not to make the big mistakes. Now, with 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 Harbaugh not coaching this game, and with everybody wondering if Harbaugh's even coming back to Michigan, Harbaugh is in the Coach K position. Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium was against, I believe, the North Carolina Tar Heels, his
Yep.
arch rival, and got beat. So we knew that was Coach K's last game in Cameron. And I just think right now, with Harbaugh, his future being up in the air, as a lot of people think he may be going back to the NFL, it's more pressure on Michigan to win this game because we don't know what happens if they lose. We don't know what happens. If they win, they obviously stay in the championship hunt. You're going to the Big Ten championship. Chances are you're going to win that. So I just think the pressures on Michigan's football program to get this win for the skipper, to give him an opportunity where he can decide his own fate and go off gloriously into victory, regardless if he comes back or not. So that's why I say I think that's why the more pressure's on the Michigan football program, not the team. Now, don't get me wrong, this team is brought the responsibility of this game, but it's a lot riding on this game, given to the fact we don't know the future of Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So
You
it
sound.
just adds a whole different element if they don't get the job done. I'm just saying. It just adds so much more in depth of an element. If they don't get the job done, I mean, what's
Yeah.
Michigan football on Sunday morning? What is
Yeah.
Michigan football on Sunday morning? What's the future of Michigan football on Sunday morning? So I just think the pressure's on these guys to get the job done so that we can at least get the skipper, get Jim Harbaugh back on the sideline so that he can have a say in the end or the future of his career at Michigan, so on and so on. I just think that's why more pressure is on the Michigan Wolverines football program.
Yeah, yeah, that's you sound like my man Steve Dace. He pretty much said the same thing. He said they lose this game, we'll probably be hearing the rumors start on Monday about who's the next coach in Michigan. But you know, if they win this game, then that'll probably get prolonged until January. I do think win, lose, or draw, this is his last year in Ann Arbor. Either way it
Okay.
go, I think this is his
All right.
last year,
All
and I'm
right.
cool with
So,
that.
well, you might be cool with that, but he might be rocking that C next year. So we'll see. Um, to stay in college football, we're looking at the top of the championship rankings. Georgia's taking on Georgia Tech this week. Of course, Ohio State and Michigan playing in the big game. I believe Washington is ranked number 4 in the rankings, and they're taking on Washington State. So, and we still got championship weekend coming up in another week after this week. But um, looking on the outside looking in, on the outside looking in, let's say the top 8. No, matter of fact, yeah, in the top 6 or 7 teams, I want to say.
You got to say the eight
Okay,
because Bama is at eight.
Alabama, yeah,
Yeah,
Alabama, yeah. Okay, so out of the team, now obviously Michigan and Ohio State, depending on the way that game goes, one of these teams could fall completely out of the rankings, out of the contentions for the national championship. Which one of these one-loss teams are you looking at to say they can get in with a win, especially if they win their conference championships?
I'm gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to go
say
with Bama.
Texas.
I'm gonna have to
Okay,
say Bama because
okay, that's another. Okay, that's a great
yeah,
answer
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
going with Texas.
Okay,
In a head-to-head comeback, Texas beats Alabama,
right.
but Alabama was my second choice.
Yeah, yeah. Because Bama to get there, Bama would have to win versus Auburn this weekend. Have to beat Georgia, and we've seen them do that before, and that didn't knock Georgia out of the top four. So
Mhm.
you got to have Georgia and Bama in there,
Yep.
and then I think Washington will win out. And you know, I'm assuming the Amazing Blue gonna take care of business. So that's
So will Washington play Oregon again? Is that the way it's looking in the Pac-12?
I believe that's what's gonna happen in Vegas.
Yeah, and they would have to beat them for the second time this season,
Yep,
and
yep.
that's not easy to do. I don't think that's easy to do. It's gonna be interesting championship weekend, assuming that Alabama take care of business and Georgia take care. Well, Georgia's pretty much in the SEC championship. I don't know who Alabama has this week,
Auburn,
but
the Iron Bowl.
so the Iron Bowl, and you know that's not a guaranteed victory for Auburn. For Alabama,
Yeah,
we've seen some really good Alabama teams go and lose that damn game and like change the whole fate of their seasons. Just like in one special teams play,
yeah,
in
yeah,
one fumble recovery, in one interception. It's just one play. That game is big. You can throw the records out. So some interesting things. You got the Michigan, starting it's Michigan and Ohio State kicking it off in the early morning, and then I think late in the afternoon you got the Iron Bowl. That's probably the two biggest games going in this weekend.
yep. Because we're not gonna get that Washington Oregon rematch until the following
Yeah,
week. So
maybe championship week, and then Georgia, Alabama, maybe possibly the
yeah,
following week, given that Alabama take care of their business. I don't know. I don't know who Texas got, but that's the one team on the outside looking in that I have
so you think
possibly
Florida
having.
State is done? You think they
Well,
undefeated right now?
Florida State lost their starting quarterback.
True. Yeah.
So
So we
I don't
canceling them
know.
out because I'm doing that too.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to affect them. It's got to be a blow to them. Losing your starting quarterback. But Texas got Texas Tech this week. Uh, I'm not familiar with Texas Tech's record or even to know what that team look like right now. But that's who that's who Texas plays, and hopefully they can continue to get the job done. Because I don't want a monkey wrench in that either. I want to see Texas get the Big 12 championship game and see if they could get themselves an opportunity to sniff this national championship. But Alabama and Georgia, Alabama's going to have a say to it as well. But like I said again, Texas beat Alabama, I think in the second week of season,
Yeah,
so
it was early.
second or
Yeah,
third week, yeah. So and plus Texas, they lost to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a two-loss team, but that's their only loss of the season this season in the Red River rivalry. Um, Last and in closing, been a lot of talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. and I was brought to the attention, and I have to apologize to Brian Kelly and the Louisiana State Tigers
and their
that
family.
and the family because I have not followed them, probably not as much as I should have, because obviously they're not in the championship hunt. But with the Marvin Harrison Jr. talk being probably the best offensive prospect in the 2024 NFL draft, um, I think there's a player that might be getting overlooked, and his name is Malik Neighbors. And I believe I sent you some highlights on Malik Neighbors, wide receiver for the LSU Tigers, 6 foot, 200 pounds. And excuse me. And I got to thinking that I would love to get Marvin Harrison Jr. We keeping Justin. I would like to trade that first pick and
Get some more picks.
go get some more picks. And I would love to take the second or third pick to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. But I'm a little greedy because when I seen the dimension and the twitch, all I could think about was, damn, we got to replace Valus Jones too. We maybe we can go get Malik Neighbors as well because you got to think about it too. Uh, Darnell Mooney, are we gonna pay him?
He's in the contract. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in my war room, I'm trading the pick, assuming that everything stays the same. I'm trading the pick from Carolina, and then I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr.
At two.
at 2. And if I can stay in the top 10 when I trade down, I'm gonna swing and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Malik Neighbors as well. Now it'll be unprecedented, but I just don't think this dude is gonna is I don't think he's gonna escape the first round. And I'm just saying, since we're gonna cut Valus Jones and we're not gonna play Darnell Mooney, go get both of them.
The only problem I think I foresee with that is because you need help so many other places on this team.
But that's what I'm saying. We stockpiling picks anyway. I think I think
I'm not
that the
taking him
Bears.
that early.
Okay, if I
What?
can get, I think that the Bears. Because remember, you're gonna look, the Bears in a position they could possibly have 3 picks in the first round.
I know that. I know. So what
Because you
about?
got your pick, you're gonna
Yep.
trade down. Maybe you could pick up another pick.
Right.
I'm playing fantasy football. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm reaching, but you got to replace Velus Jones. We still have not replaced Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool's you haven't replaced him yet because of his size and speed and agility. We haven't replaced that. We haven't replaced that guy. EQ St. Brown ain't the dude.
Nope. He gotta
Okay,
go. He gotta go.
so I'm going and I'm getting Marvin Harrison Jr. and I'm taking
We agree.
Malik Neighbors, and then I'm gonna build that offensive line with my third pick, whatever. That's
I
just how. That's what I want to do.
I would go Marvin Harrison, offensive line pick with
Okay.
that second pick,
Okay.
and then depending on because you're saying we possibly could have 3 picks in the first round.
Yeah, yeah. If you do it right, I think that can happen.
Uh,
And
well,
most definitely high in the second round.
Yeah, it's second round. Okay, I'm cool with that. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, what about what's the DN from Penn State? Chop Robinson, the DN from Chop. Because I don't think what's and Guakwe or
Look,
number. I don't think he's gonna be here next year. You gonna have to replace
maybe
him.
not, maybe not, maybe not. But did you see Malik Neighbors highlights?
I saw it. I saw it. Listen,
You seen Velus Jones highlights out of Tennessee? Nothing special. Okay? We seen Velus Jones,
that
nothing
was
special as a Chicago Bear. I'm just being greedy. Malik Neighbors, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Velus Jones, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Okay? So then I'm gonna take I just hey, look here, man. We'll be all night. I think you know how I feel about it. So with that being said, man, happy Thanksgiving. Unless you got something else you want to add to it. Cause I got a basketball game to scout and
yeah.
I think you might have a little something in the oven. You helping cook tonight?
No, I ain't helping me cook. I think I'm about to go run out here and get something to eat. Play me a
Yeah.
little 2K. Just chill out. I'm off this week. No, I ain't got to do no studio, no music stuff. So I'm gonna just chill it on out this tonight. I know I'll be seeing you Saturday kickoff, big noon, 11
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah, I'll be there.
At
Yep.
Shorewood. Me. I'm gonna have my jersey on. Link gonna have his jersey on. We gonna be ready. So hey, and leftovers gonna be in the microwave. We gonna be ready.
I heard that. So, big game Saturday. We didn't even touch on the NFL games. What games you looking forward to? Of
The
course, we got the early Turkey Day game with Green Bay and Detroit. I'm pulling for Green Bay.
the
I'm
Eagles
pulling for
got
Green Bay only because they the lesser team in the division. I want to see Green Bay beat Detroit, and then I think the second game. I know the nightcap is the 49ers and Seahawks. But
right
that middle game, who's playing in that game?
Dallas and Washington
Okay,
Redskins
so
football team commanders.
yeah,
Mhm.
so that might not be too great of a game, but that nightcap, Seattle and San Fran may be a good one. So got some games to look forward to on Thanksgiving Day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. We just kicking off into the spirit. Watch the game. Happy Turkey Day, baby.
We out.